welcome to the Northernist Podcast. We're two friends in fiber coming to you from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. It is officially the January of 2020. We have one MIA husband, one injured kitten, and two females lacking a lot of sleep.
Yeah.
It's episode 146.
It is.
Forgot to ask, so that was a complete shot in the dark.
You are correct. It is 146.
Woohoo! I'm Jocelyn, my co-host is
Diana.
and hopefully this week we will cover the topics somewhat succinctly. Last episode was an hour and 37 minutes and I edited that bad boy. Right, we rambled a lot.
Yeah, it was a rambly sort of a day.
That's fair. I am definitely about as sleep deprived as Diana, so we'll see how this one goes, guys.
Yep. Today we've got...
She's gotta stop yawning.
Yeah. What's in our cup? Cool threads, woolly workings, yarn on the go, wool gathering, and literature. I foolishly did not have caffeinated tea for recording, so I'm a little sleepy.
Caffeinated tea? No. Jocelyn's having coffee. It's Sunday, January the something, 5th.
Probably.
Your husband flew it today, it's gotta be the 5th.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. And we learned our cat fact of the day.
Something about all cats are descended from a word we can't pronounce 66 million years ago.
Carnivores.
Yeah.
Modern day carnivores, which cat doesn't remember. One of my cousins, who actually shares the first name my mom has. Yay! First and last name, same. Cool.
Way to name your family unique things.
We love our Barbs and Ians. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Bought me a 365-day cat fact calendar. So I get a fact every day.
Cat facts!
Cat facts! They're going to start leaking onto Twitter, I know it. You're welcome, guys. You're welcome. I am drinking a cup of ethical bean coffee in the Lush variety. Because they make 100% compostable K-Cups is how they do their K-Cups, which means I can just enjoy a cup of ethical bean. B, because I quite enjoy the brand line. They make good coffee. I put a touch too much raw sugar in it, but super sweet, over caffeinated. Yeah, that's fine.
I've got some cinnamon vanilla tea from Stash, which is rooibos teas. There's not a bit of caffeine in this, but it tastes really nice. It smells amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it smells like baking, like cinnamon buns and cookies.
Yeah. It's really good.
It smells nice.
Mom and Dad found 2 boxes for me, so we get to enjoy it for the rest of winter. So stoked.
Tea.
All right. Suppose that moves us on to... No, we have to talk about what we wore before we talk about what we're working on. Oh man, you guys.
Okay, you go first because my thing leads into woolly workings.
Cool beans. It has still been distressingly not wintry.
Yeah,
okay, we have snow, but it's -4.
I will second... Whoa, come back, yarn. It is distressing because, like, my boots are getting wet and then my feet are cold. Like, my good to -30 boots are not working because they're getting wet.
I haven't even put my winter... I don't have winter boots this year, and that's fine. I know what I'm doing. I am an adult. I will hide at -40 if we get any this year. So far, this has been the best year to go without getting a new pair of winter boots to save up to get really good ones. Holy Hannah. I'm ripping something, so every once in a while, the yarn I'm winding into balls as I'm ripping it out. I'm frogging a project. As I'm frogging something, the ball just explodes out of my hands. So if you see me move dramatically, that's why, guys. So I've just been wearing the Find Your Fate and Diana's mittens, which are in super desperate need. I must give those to her before she goes home today. The thrumming is so threadbare. If I told people they were handmade mittens, people would look at me like that person didn't like me. I've warned them right out. Diana, they need rescue. She has the thrumming, guys. I don't have the thrumming.
I can fix this. I've also got a gleaner. I can take off all the excess fluff.
Which I figured made sense to do after getting the thrumming fixed up, not before.
Honestly, probably before. Take all the extra little fluffs out and then...
I've never dealt with thrumming before, so...
I've never had to repair thrumming before, so it'll be a bit of an experiment.
Cool beans. Glad you, hey, at least you know I loved the project.
Yeah, I'm happy to repair things that have been worn out. I'm repairing my mom's socks again.
My
The ones that I
God.
repaired last March, I'm repairing them again.
Your mom's really good at just
Yeah.
burning through socks. Hey, you guys. So, quick insert for everybody. Apologies for the episode going up late. We lost a clip while we were recording. So, Diana has been invited to bring her lamb glam, which she technically finished as an FO for this podcast week, to next week. So you guys are going to hear her talk more about her lamb glam. Apologies for the inconvenience. It does put a little bit of skew on the continuity for the episode, but I have no idea where the clip has gone, and it's just completely disappeared. It is likely something I did. It is very much unlikely it is something Diana has done, because I do all the video editing. So my apologies, guys. We're missing some information. We're missing a little bit of Diana's what she wore this week, because she was wearing her lamb glam, which then transitioned us into Woolly Workings. So we left with me babbling. We're going to go back to me babbling, and next week you guys are going to get an in-depth on her lamb glam, okay? Cheers.
We're into Woolly Workings.
We are into Woolly Workings. We said that before you pulled out your lamb glam.
Yes.
We
Well,
made
we're
the segue.
thoroughly into it now.
Okay.
You want to go? 'Cause we
Sure.
have close to the same number of things today.
Hey, let's talk about an old thing first.
An old thing.
My sock. I pulled out my sock and I did some rows. Did I do a lot of rows? No. I was at a house party. Went out for New Year's Eve, guys. Just not my norm anymore. So I grabbed my Die For You Jack sock colorway that
I thought that
It's
was so into knitting.
so into knitting. You're right, it is so into knitting. I think it's Die For You because it's self-striping. And when I think self-striping in Manitoba, I think Alley. Because most of my self-striping comes from Alley at Die For You. You are correct. I am wrong. This is so into knitting. Now I feel awful because I like those ladies a bunch too. So here's my jack sock. I got more body progress done, which was great. Diana helped, picked up the stitch. I also had a little one helping me knit on this. I also got commission work out of this. And I would have probably gotten more done. But, you know, it is what it is. People, you guys have seen this before. It is a Nightmare Before Christmas theme inspired sock colorway. I have an orange, sort of pale pumpkin-y orange toe going on. And then it's got these little micro stripes of like grays and oranges and blacks going on here to represent Jack. My foot is almost completed, which means I got to heal shortly. Which is good, because I need to get to the heel and past the heel, because I've got 3 days worth of seminars this week. So I can get myself a good body length of sock done.
Yeah.
This week, you guys. So I got to get through the heel tonight if I can. And I'm like so close to the heel. It's hilarious. Like one of those ones where I'm like, I literally need like 3 more rows. But I check every round.
Uh-huh. And if you just knit the 3 more rounds and stop checking, it would take much less time.
Yes. I'm at that stage. So there's my sock. I have 1 FO, 1 and 2 partials.
Do you want to do your FO?
Sure, it's behind you.
Yeah. So this cushion that I'm sitting on today is newly covered.
So I have 2 cushions. I love my cushions. They're big, fat, fluffy cushions, but they are Christmas cushions. And it's never bothered me before, and it still doesn't really bother me now. But I decided to use up more scraps and try out the waffle stitch pattern in crochet, which I really wanted to do. So I pulled out my white Charisma, which is a bulky, which, by the way, this front is 2 balls. So like when they say the waffle stitch eats yarn, they mean the waffle stitch eats yarn. But that texture is just...
It's nice.
I'm going to go buy 2 more balls of the white Charisma.
Like, it's very 3-dimensional.
It is very 3-dimensional, because I've got another ball of the purple Charisma, which is how I did the back. So I did 1 ball in a granny square, and then I held 2 strands of worsted white and purple impeccables, so all loops and threads, to make that border outside for it. And then I literally sewed the pillow in. Hand sewed the pillow in.
It's very cozy.
It's mostly because my pillow is starting to show its wear and tear. So I'm gonna go buy some white and do that to the pillow that sits behind my back when we record, which currently still has the Christmas theme showing on it. And that'll make them all year-round pillows. Even though my mom, who uses these pillows all the time, was like, "Is it Christmas?" I'm like, "Yes, Mom, it's Christmas themed." I swears. And then I started another pillow, but this one I'm creating. So it's wider than it needs to be. It's going to be bigger than it needs to be. I'm using yarn I reclaimed from a sweater that I started and then had to rip out and then couldn't bring myself to finish knitting. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the back piece smaller than the front piece, so you get that cute little flap on the outside edge.
Okay.
All the way around. So, and there's no pattern. I'm just making it up as I go, you guys. And what I'm doing is I'm making a little scalloped edge detailing by going all the way out, and this little scalloped edge is the chain 3 up for every double crochet round. So it's coming up nicely. They're really long rows though, because I literally have got like a big amount of flap coming on each side, which is what I wanted. I wanted, because I don't like the little doinky flap where you want the flap where you can like hang on to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I wanted that. So this is coming up nicely. This stuff is some jewel toned, I even still have a thing in it, the faucet stones from Loops and Threads, which was going to be my first sweater cowl. That's the one where I did the whole thing and realized it was way too freaking big.
Mm-hmm.
Way too big, and I didn't like boxy sweaters that much. So I have like a sweater's quantity and a bit worth, so I'm going to make some more couch cushions and stuff. The 2 white and purple will live on my big couch, and the 2 green jewel tone colored ways, because this is definitely dark green to light green with a golden sort of mustardy yellow. I'm going to go golden mustardy yellow. It's almost like a honey Dijon mustard, dirty gold color.
Looks a lot greener on the camera.
It does, which is kind of weird because it's definitely not green in person. So I'm going to use up a bunch of balls for that because I would like to decrease some of my stash stuff I've got going on right now. Mm-hmm. And for me, crocheting stuff for the house works really well. What you guys can't see just off frame is all of my whips. There's many. All of them. I am only keeping 11 whips. 3 of which I'm currently working on right now. The rest are being frogged. Because it's that time of year. Okay, I have one more thing to talk about.
I have 2 more things, so I will do a thing.
Do a thing.
The cursed mittens that I've been making for my brother since like July. They're no longer cursed. They are progressing nicely. It looks absurdly long, I think, but I had my mom's hand available to try them on the other day, and her hands are slightly wider, but just as long as my brother's, because he's got slender, lovely pianist hands.
I like how you threw that lovely in there.
Yes. I'm not at all bitter that I got the short, stubby fingers.
Not at all.
Not at all bitter there.
It's fine. Your brother still loves you.
So this is an almost completed mitten. I'm about halfway done the decreases, and then I just have to pick up the thumb and knit it. And the thumb is offset properly this time, so this is a right-handed mitten. Everything lines up nicely. It's lovely and beautiful. I'm doing this out of some self-striping blue yarn that I don't know if I definitely don't have the ball band in here anymore. This was some yarn that my brother had bought one afternoon when I was teaching him how to knit socks, and he got about a cuff done on a pair of socks and never touched them again. So he gave the yarn and needles back to me and then said, "Pretty please will you make me something?" And so now I'm making him mittens out of this.
Was that the yarn we bought that was the one year him and his boyfriend came out to the knit in public? We were out at the duck pond in Assiniboine, and that's what he was working on?
Oh, maybe. That was gotta be quite a while ago.
It was before we were podcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I went out with Terry and her little smart car, and boy, we carried the big red cooler, so there was no room for anything else in that trunk by the time we were done loading up.
For reference, this mitten fits the width of my hand just fine, because my brother and I have pretty similarly widthed hands. This is going to be like a good half-inch longer than my hand is.
But it's not that you have stubby fingers. You have stubby fingers compared to your brother.
I wanted the long, slender fingers.
Like, come on. You do not have stubby hands, considering I have a much larger hand, and our finger length is like... It's just that your brother has pianist fingers.
Yeah, my mom and my brother both have long fingers, and I just got these short little fingers, these dainty little hands, these tiny little wrists, which I generally don't mind. I wanted longer fingers.
That's alright.
Which is a very small
My mom and my
gripe.
sister are dainty, and they wear dainty jewelry, and I love dainty jewelry. I have to wear the big chunky stuff.
So this is...
It's an irrelevant gripe, but yeah, it's a thing. I
it's-
mean, I'm glad that they're coming together finally, because oh man, those mittens and you.
Yeah.
You're really getting mad at those mittens.
I'm so mad at these mittens. They're finally behaving. I have learned my lesson. I am not that good. I do need a pattern, at least to base things off of. I did find a free fingering weight mitten pattern that I'm largely following, though not entirely. And so it was a learning moment for myself. I learned that I'm not as good as I think I am, and that I still have room for improvement in my mitten design skills. Is that a nice diplomatic way of saying it?
We can all learn things all the time. I mess things up left, right, and center.
Alright, that was my thing. I have one more thing.
We have one more thing.
I have one more thing.
Okay. I'm ripping out the start of a cardigan because it's been over a year, which means my gauge has changed. And it's this much of a bulky weight cardigan.
It's not that much.
I can do it again. But I'm going to want my gauge to match, and
Yeah.
my gauge has definitely changed at that size. So, hang on. I had to... Listen, we were running a podcast anniversary long. We're doing it along. Did I work on it? No. Did Diana? No.
Hey, in my defense, I was finishing a whole other sweater.
I have no
So-
defense. I just really wanted to start this.
I'm probably going to cast it on tonight, to be honest.
Oh, goodness. You should see the progress some people are making. I'm like, oh man.
I know.
Got
Showing
all
us up.
some keister. They do every year, and it's amazing. Please continue to do so. I couldn't help myself. If you guys remember, I asked Instagram stories a couple weeks ago about choosing which cardigan I should crochet next, like the big, super comfy, oversized ones. And the votes came in for the Dwell cardigan, so that's what I'm working on. And I needed something I could fall asleep while working on. That wasn't going to be like drop stitches. Oh my god, I'm screwed. Crochet is great for that when it's my time of the month and I'm sleeping like a cat sleeps, like way too long. So I am working on the body of the Dwell cardigan. I have to do this 4-row repeat 12 or 14 times for my size. And then I'll do the, there's no shaping to the body. The body gets sewn up, you add sleeves, and you add a big collar. So I'm just about done the body. Crochet is fast, you guys.
Yeah, well, and bulky too.
And it's in bulky. This is the Glacier colorway from Barcelona, which I believe is another Yarn Inspirations Loops and Threads colorway. But this is coming up
this stuff from last
beautifully. Beautifully.
It's nice. I like it.
It's
I
just-
like the
it's
very subtle
so-
striping.
And it's so beautiful and muted and soft. It's going to look great in the spring. And it's going to look amazing with all of my deep winter colors too. So super stoked about this. I should have this done before we get to the Fiber Frolic towards the end of this month. So if I don't have it done next week. Because I don't mind crocheting ribbing. Just hate knitting it.
We all have our things.
I'll have her things, you guys. So I'm puttering through and making this because I really, really wanted to have a second cocoon shaped cardigan to wear. So it's a free pattern. You can get it on the Ravelry, the Dwell cardigan. And if you crochet, I super think it's exciting. I'll have leftover yarn, so I think I'm gonna have to make like a big crochet cowl or something for myself. Or some mittens or something. The inevitable mitten fight. You should hear the comments I got coming in from people since my mitten round.
Oh.
People agreeing with me left, right, and center.
Oh. Well, good ranting then.
Good ranting. Then Suzanne offered to just make me a mitt. Send her my measurements. I'm going to do that. I love handmade stuff. Remember that sweater she gave me that Mom
Yeah.
took?
Yeah.
She made the next size down. It's still a little bit big. It's just, well, no, she knows it fits. She's going to send it to me to try on to see if it's the right size for me. This is my
Oh my
life,
goodness.
people. I now send and receive yarn, finished yarn projects in the mail to try on for fit.
That's amazing.
This is my life, and it is wonderful. Cool beans. Okay, that's the last thing I've been working on.
Okay, I
For the
have
week.
one more thing because last week I needed one more ball of black Loops and Threads Charisma to finish my Glam Lamb.
We went and we got you some.
And yes, I got the last ball in the place.
You did.
But then, of course, it was Boxing Day week.
I didn't add anything to your... Well, no, I did, but that
You
was
did.
for a whole other thing, and you
Yeah.
told me to do that
Yeah.
earlier last year, so...
No, it was fine.
I was under
Um,
instructions.
But you know how you go in for that one like $10 thing, like you're going to spend like $10, $20 max, and then you spend like $100.
She's not pulling up a bag my size, guys.
Yeah.
She bought like 2 extra balls of yarn.
Yeah. Anyway, they had this really great yarn. It's jumbo yarn.
Mm-hmm.
And it was sitting right next to the jumbo pom-poms. And I saw these things and I'm like, this needs to be a hat. I need giant gray yarn with rainbow speckles and a black pom-pom. This needs to be a hat. Of course, my brother's seen this and gone, hat? So this might be my brother's hat, but it's going to be my hat first.
You have another ball and another pom-pom.
Yes. So I also have...
You guys can have matching hats.
We can. In addition to this light gray, I also got the dark gray, otherwise known as black.
Dark gray. You Batman in the Lego movie?
Yeah.
I only make things in black. Very, very dark gray.
Precisely.
That's all I remember of that movie. That and the pants are funny. Honey, where are my pants? That's it. That's all I remember.
So I have black yarn with rainbow speckles and a light brownie sort of pom-pom to go with that one. So this yarn is Totally Tubular by Lion Brand.
It's just fun to work on, isn't it?
It is. I'm making a totally tubular hat.
Oh my cool. I'm just waiting for Bill and Ted to jump out so we can go on an excellent adventure. Oh my god.
It's totally tubular. But the construction...
Dude. I grew up in the 90s.
The colorway is oyster shell, I guess, because oysters are like silvery and they shine sort of rainbow colors.
I don't always get the color name thingy, but that's okay.
Whatever. It's called oyster shell. But it's 89% acrylic and 11% nylon. So basically, it's this nylon tube that probably doesn't show up at all on camera. It's probably all out of focus. It's this nylon tube that's been blown full of acrylic fibers, I guess.
So it's similar to this tube that I'm doing, which has got natural fibers. The nylon tube is so cool to knit with.
Yeah,
it's
so like
cool and so different.
Sticking my nails. I need to get these nails off. They're chipping on the edges and catching on everything. I need to get them off this week. So it's a really interesting construction, and it's like a little bit fluffy, but not super fluffy, and it's got a totally different texture than your typical acrylic yarn. So I'm super pumped about this very colorful hat. Was sort of vaguely following a pattern by Church Mouse Yarns just for stitch counts. It's a free pattern. I cast on 36 stitches. I'm doing just 1 by 1 ribbing all the way up. I'm not even going to do any decreases. I'm just going to do a tube and then cinch it closed at the top. And if it's a little bit bubbly at the top, oh well. I feel like it's the cute jumbo yarn look, and it's going to be largely covered by this ridiculously giant pom-pom anyway. Like, this pom-pom is like a measurable percentage of my head.
I believe our episode title is Measurable Percentage.
Like, this is going to be a
gonna
heckin'
look
big
great.
pom-pom. I think it'll cover most of the knobbly bits at the top of the hat. Because I want to use up all of this yarn. I don't want to have any leftovers. Because I don't know what I would do with leftovers of this yarn. Where you have like, what do you do with like 10 meters of this?
Make bows for bears? Like, I don't know.
So that's why I'm not even going to do decreases. I'm just going to go till it runs out, cinch it closed, done.
Done.
Pom-pom on top. Call it a day.
I'm super excited to see that when it's finished. And given the size of needle you're currently working on, which is huge.
Yeah, so I knit like half a hat and then it was too big and I didn't like it. So again, I thought I knew how many stitches to cast on for things. I don't, which is why I found a pattern. Hubris. Humility.
That's how we learn things.
Yep.
We all do it.
So it's 36 stitches, not 40. And I was trying to do some kind of like clever stitch pattern on the like actual head part that was above the brim, and it honestly was not showing up very well in this yarn. Not that there's obviously like perfectly fine stitch definition, it's just it's so big it doesn't really need anything because the knit stitch itself is the texture.
Pretty much, yeah. At that size.
So that's my 2 cents. Don't try to do anything fancy with jumbo yarn, just knit it. It looks cool.
It does. You're not wrong. Cool beans. Well, that's it for Woolly Workings.
Yeah, I started this like last night.
Yeah, last night.
And I've got half a hat.
No, it's not going to take you long at all.
No, I might finish it tonight, honestly.
Good palette cleanser.
I'm either going to finish this tonight or I'm going to cast on my sweater.
Okay.
For the cowl. Not sure which. It's a toss-up right now.
I want to get the dweller cardigan done, so I will probably cast on my sweater sometime middle of the week. After one of my seminar days, I'm sitting at home, paranoidly watching that one. She's fine. She hurt herself. She did a dumb thing.
She catted poorly and hurt her paw.
Catted poorly and injured her leg, so we were just watching her for the next few days. After I made my brother-in-law get up at 3 in the morning to check to make sure I hadn't missed any serious damage, because I wouldn't have seen it. She was very confused when he first woke up. I had to go, not your wife, sister-in-law. Okay. And I was like, I think the cat's okay, but I would appreciate if we could just check to make sure before I go to sleep and then be stressed and paranoid about it all night. We checked. She's fine, but I gotta watch her leg for the next few days to make sure she's doing okay. Because we jumped incorrectly. Yep. That's fine. Alright, what's next?
Got some yarn on the go.
How much time do we got left?
About 20 minutes.
Okay, well, we can do yarn on the go, and then I'll go in and see what else. See if I can figure out how to delete things off my phone. Alright, yarn on the go. I went out for New Year's Eve. I went to a house party. Forgot how much there is for drunk at a house party. Oh, well. So, I ended up saying that's way too many people. Hiding in a very quiet corner. I hid in the upstairs master bedroom with the other mom. Two of the other moms. One who was the hostess. And one of the kids. We all hid up there and just chatted and ate and had a good old time.
Oh, good, good.
And then I went home early because I don't stay up till midnight. Like, okay, the baby went home, and a half hour later, me and one of my buddies went home to go to bed. Neither one of the two of us is kids. We just have early morning work schedules. So it's like, hey, can I get you right home? He's like, yeah, I'm headed home in like now. Like, so like a half hour when we actually extricate ourselves. He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, that works great. I'll be home before 11. New Year's Eve. To bed. I'm so tired.
New Year's Eve I was sick and I just slept all day. I say sick. I didn't actually feel bad. I was just
tired.
So tired.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely on the upswing now. So like if the worst I get is I have to sleep for a day and a half, like I'll take it.
Yeah, that's a very easy cold to get over.
Chris went out to a party and saw
That's
people
fine.
and whatever, but I woke up around 10, I stayed up till midnight, I sang myself some Auld Lang Syne, and I went back to bed. Like, that was my New Year's.
I woke up at midnight when my phone went off, and I thought it would for sure be my parents wishing me a Happy New Year's. No, they've gone home and gone to bed early, too. Because Mr. B was like, Happy New Year! And I'm thinking to myself, you gotta work at 8:30 in the morning, buddy. Why are you still conscious? I replied with Happy New Year and went back to sleep. And I talked to everybody else in the morning, because they all just got a hold of me in the morning.
Yeah.
People know me.
Yep.
That's fine. Hey, we made it to 2020. That's the important part. All right.
I have some fun yarn on the go, though.
Sure.
Yesterday when I was feeling better. They have like 3 million lights or something set up the legislature right now for Manitoba's 150th next year.
There's a lot of stuff going on this year for Manitoba's 150th.
Anyway, the ledge is lit up all nicely, and it's like a 5-minute walk across the bridge from where I live. So we wandered over there with the fancy camera and met up with a whole bunch of Chris's family and whatever, because they also wanted to look at the lights. But I took 3 shawls that I didn't have very good finished pictures of.
Oh, did we get final photos of those?
Oh yes.
Good.
These will all be going up on Ravelry. So
Good.
I finally took some finished photos of the Wonder Woman.
Oh my god.
I know, right? The Not a Lot of Rain in April.
Okay.
I took a couple more of the Fade just because it looks really nice and wintry.
You've been done the Wonder Woman for over a year.
Oh, like 2+
No, a
years.
year. Over a year, because you finished it at C4.
Yeah, but I think
Last year before?
It was at least the year before.
4?
Yeah, and I didn't even have finished pictures.
Well, we didn't have a C4 this year.
Yeah, and it wasn't this past one. It was
so
the one before.
So yeah, it's been done for 2 years. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So those are all lovely and photographed now.
Okay.
I need to edit the photos a little bit and do some color grading because they're a little bit dark.
This is even hardly kinked.
That's nice.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. The photos are a little bit like yellow and slightly dark, so a little bit of color grading will fix that.
Oh yeah.
And of course, I also took some pictures of the glam lamb, which means I froze myself a little bit because I had to take off my coat, obviously.
Well, you know, we sacrifice for finished object photos.
So, yes, I suffered for my finished object photos. So I will edit those and get them up on Ravelry probably first, but they'll go up on Instagram periodically over the next month or so.
If that snowstorm hits us this week, I will be texting you in a mad panic to get in your car after work and meet me outside the house.
For finished object photos?
For us in our winter coats for Frosty Faces Manitoba with our mittens and our Finder Fades.
Oh, yes.
That's gonna happen.
Okay.
If it hits us. We don't know yet. It's not here. I don't count anything the weather says till it shows up.
If it says day of, then it's like, it's pretty
sure
likely.
It'll happen, but sometimes. And especially with snow. I'm not trusting anything anymore. If it said it was gonna rain, I'd believe it. Snow?
Not sure about that.
Not sure about that. Even better if it hits over the weekend, so we can get like Saturday midday shots of us drinking coffee, walking outside.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to arrange outside photos where I can make Diana freeze. Because I love her.
Yep. Well, my other yarn on the go was at family goodbye dinner the other night. I managed to get both kids, they're aged 5 and 7.5, interested in knitting at about the exact same moment, somehow.
The 5-year-old's probably following because the 7.5-year-old's interested.
I honestly could not tell you which of them asked first if they could help me knit, because I was knitting on Charlie's mitten.
Well, you always knit around them. I mean,
yeah,
I did
just
too.
like
so.
This one time, they're both like, I want to try, and so I did an actual not bad job of teaching them to knit using very tiny yarn and needles. So I have a second, as I said, I have a second ball that's totally tubular. I'm going to get that to a point where it's like just roundy knitting, and I'm going to try again. But I was using the technique that I heard Jasmine talking about on the Knitmore Girls, where you just sit them in your lap and you're like, okay, I'm going to stick the needle in, you wrap the yarn, I'm going to pull it through and off the,
I think it's a really good way to teach.
Yeah, so props to the Knitmore Girls for figuring that out.
Also, world needs more knitters.
Yeah.
And one of yours is a nephew. The world definitely needs more male knitters.
Absolutely.
Don't get me wrong, we need more girl knitters too. We just need more knitters.
More crafters in general.
Crafting for the win.
So I'm helping the next generation of knitters.
I have frogged 4 projects. I'm gonna work on my giant. These rows are huge. They take forever. It's just really funny. But yeah, I mean, sometimes tech works fine for me. Sometimes not at all. If you're a Patreon member, hey, I've been uploading videos like crazy because I finally got it to work.
Hey.
There's more coming your way.
Everybody cheer.
I had to figure it out eventually. It just takes a while, that's all.
We're supposed to be talking about wool gathering.
Cool. I was gathering wool.
Yeah.
Just existentially gathering wool from a very far off place. We were talking about Patreon, so let's continue. Our Patreon knit-in, which is a live e-knit-in for some of our Patreon members, occurs the second last Saturday of the month. And we moved to saying it that way, so Jocelyn stopped messing up the dates. Happens at noon our time, which is Central Daylight? Central Standard? Because we're not in daylight right now.
Yep. So
I'm right half the year.
It's January 18th, noon, Central Standard Time.
Sure. It's just before the frolic, so everybody can jump on and help me coerce Diana into spending money on yarn, which she will want to do anyway.
No coercion required.
Not when some of our favorite dyers have got new lines coming out.
Yeah.
Super stoked.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah, pretty much, hey? Daria, we're coming for you. If you don't know what Patreon is, it is a online community group that allows you, if you are able to do so, financially support content creators of your choice that you enjoy. It allows different content creators to do different things depending on what's going on and what they create. In our case, it helps us afford what is going to be a very expensive year of tech upgrades. The hosting for the website every year so that we have all of that stuff squared away, and pricing and stuff. So you guys help us do more of this stuff, which is great because Jocelyn spent a lot of her own money last year and she can't afford to do that again this year. So it was a lot. I'm still not done. I'm still waiting on a couple of addresses, so it's fine. It's not the end of the world. It'll happen when it happens. So, we've got that on. We have tiers. I've even almost edited all of them correctly now. My screen reader catches things sometimes, and sometimes he doesn't. He tries. And we have posts that go up regularly. Depending on what you're in and what's going on, you'll have different tiers for things for going on. We've got different levels, so when we reach certain dollar amounts, we will add new things. Always taking suggestions on what the new things should be, with a caveat that Diana and I both work a lot. And while we both love crafting and what we're doing, for us this is part-time, not full-time. So we have to keep Diana's schedule in mind as well as my own. And I just picked up a new volunteer gig. So, cool.
What'd you go and do that for?
Because I want to be a friend with a senior.
Oh, that does sound fun.
Yeah, I'm going to go once a week and we're going to have coffee, or we'll go out for tea, or we'll go shopping, or, we'll do... Like, I can help lug things home. I just can't drive. It's through one of the seniors programs here in the city, so you're friends with a senior. So, basically, it's like being a big brother, only to a senior, which I feel is super important because they don't always have people to talk to, and that's not fair.
So it's like adopt a grandparent?
Yeah.
Sounds great.
I think that actually is a great way. I'm going to adopt a grandparent. I don't know yet. I haven't been paired much, and that's fine. So I had a bit of restrictions because I've got some travel restrictions because I don't drive. Mm-hmm. So it sort of restricted what areas of the city I could get to back and forth. But, everyone's retired and I work for myself, so I can always just do it in daytime. Which is perfect. So I'm super excited because I'm going to make new friends. And I'm really stoked about that.
That sounds awesome.
I know. I'm really excited. But that doesn't mean I'm losing some of my time. I also have a girlfriend whose MS is getting real bad, so she's essentially homebound now, though she has a chair. So I'll be doing a lot more work with her to help her maintain her independence as long as possible. So lots of things on my plate. Super stoked. Nope. I also have a baby blanket I have to crochet before April. Jocelyn's really busy.
Good luck with that.
Well, the baby's due at the end of April, so in theory I have till at least the beginning.
In theory.
In theory. If it shows up early, the baby will get the blanket when I'm done.
And baby won't care.
Baby will not care. In fact, mom and dad will also not care, because mom and dad also know how long it takes to craft things. They're just very excited I want to craft them something, so. And I get to pick the colors.
Perfect.
So happy. Gonna go to Michael's. Because washing baby blankets is a thing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a very important thing.
It's a very important thing. In my mind. Cool beans. The other thing for Wool Gathering is the podcast anniversary, which we are super doing great on that there, Diana. Why don't you talk about it? Hey, wait. I have a flax light sweater I could show. Technically, and it's also under 50%. It counts.
So, to celebrate 3 years of podcasting.
No, neither one of us is working on our podcast anniversary.
Neither one of us has started the knit-along that we announced.
Oh, hey, I even put the photo up of the yard. We're doing great.
But if you would like to join us, you have until March 31st to knit any adult-sized sweater by Tin Can Knits. I will be doing a flax eventually.
Sure.
In my defense, I finished a sweater this week.
I really do need to open up a thread that just takes bets on whether or not you'll cast it on before March the 1st.
No, there's a very solid chance I'm going to cast it on tonight, or
Okay,
at
good.
least, redo another swatch since it's been over a year since I did the last swatch.
That'd be good. So, of course, some of our followers are like, nah, just do it. Never mind the swatch. Swatches lie. Like, you're right. You're not wrong. Swatches can lie. They don't always, but they can. I don't know if I'm ready to do a sweater without swatching. I'm not sure I'm feeling that ballsy.
I think my mittens and my hats have proven to me that I'm not that good. I don't think I'll be knitting another swatch.
Yeah, I'm
at least a small swatch. At least a few rows.
I don't think I'm that good, guys.
I'm definitely not that good. Plus, I think possibly my measurements have changed since I took them to make the sweater in the first place, so I got to do that too.
Sure. Am I taking your measurements again?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Just because since I've been going to the gym, I think my shoulders might be a different size.
Guess it's possible.
So I should probably do that, because, that's really important.
It is.
Yes, so I think we talked about everything for that.
I think so, yeah. The thread's on Ravelry, right?
The chatter thread is. I didn't
Sweet.
make a finished object thread since it's the first week of January.
That's a little early for a finished object thread. Be noted and warned because we're doing digital giveaways. Did you update the giveaway rules when you posted?
I don't believe I did, but I will update that.
Cool. Giveaway rules have changed. We're doing electronic giveaway patterns. So if you are in the chatter thread, here's your advanced notice. As of the 15th of January, I will be stalking people and randomly giving away pattern prizes. Monetarily wise, it'll work out to be about equal as what it would be for yarn for one of the prizes, and then we'll give away a bigger prize in January into some of the FO threads and stuff too. So because we're going digital and I'm not buying yarn this year, we're able to do a lot more, which is amazing.
Keep your wish lists updated.
Keep your wish list updated because there will probably won't be a lot of notice. I'll probably be sitting on it at some point at like 6:30 in the morning and going, hey, I should do that right now. Which is how all of my Ravelry updates go. Hey, I should do this right now before I go to work. Which is early in the morning. No, you can't see me sitting down in my pajamas at 6:30 in the morning with a cup of coffee while my breakfast is cooking going, hey, let's give away something. Click.
Oh, yes. Definitely. I think that's that.
That's everything?
That's that. Oh, the Fiber Frolic
Is coming up.
that is Sunday, January the 19th from 12 to 4 at the Norwood Community Center,
Yes.
she said with a question mark.
She said correctly.
So that's a massive knitting circle and a dozen or so vendors
And
of
classes.
very high quality and classes.
Yeah, they got classes.
I didn't know they had classes.
They got classes.
Well, that's new to me.
There's Never Not Gnoming going on.
Gnome knitting?
Gnome knitting.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sure there's something else going on. I just, the Never Not Gnoming is the one that's stuck in my head.
So if you're in Winnipeg, come on down to the Fiber Frolic.
Come
Frolic
say
with
hi.
Fiber. And
Come say hello.
January 19th.
We'll be there.
That just leaves Kniterature.
Woohoo!
I have 2 books still.
I had to have a cleansing. So I went for, in my mind, an oldie but a goodie. I own a copy of The Redemption of Athamas by David and Lee Eddings. I have read a lot of Eddings' work. In this case, it's a standalone high fantasy, which isn't super common for him to do. His stories, like them, not like them, that's a whole other can of worms. For me, it was a nice way to start the year because it wasn't super heavy. It wasn't like I know some of the challenges I've got because I'm gonna do a lot of the book Riot Read Harder challenges this year, to sort of expand my horizons. I already know there's one I'm not doing. I don't care. I'm not reading a horror book. I don't care. I will miss out on that prize. I'm not reading horror.
Totally fair.
Not
I understand.
Not doing it. And I wish they had more disability diversity on their list. There's one challenge for reading a book with a disabled character, I think. I'm like, can we just tag in disabled authors into the people of color and LGBTQ community? Can we just put disabled in there too?
How do you even find books?
Do you need me to go find your books by disabled authors?
Yeah.
I can sit here right now and go, Stephen Hawking's A Brief History of Time.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Nobody's going to argue with me that he's not a disabled human. He's also freaking brilliant.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they're out there.
Yeah, sure. Send me a list.
Cool. I will do
Send me
that.
a list. I need to
Molly
expand
Burke.
my...
Molly Burke did a book. She specifically did an audiobook, and she's visually disabled.
Ah.
It's not what it looks like. It's about her perspectives on being blind.
Okay, I'm gonna link this. Hang on.
Yeah.
Molly Burke.
Yeah, there you go. 2.
Okay.
The other ones I actually have to go look for because I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm not that good. Also, as of like the 8th of January, the long list for Canada Reads drops. And that always goes on my TBR. But on the 22nd, the short list gets released. And those ones I have from the 22nd of January to like the first week of March to finish reading before the Canada Reads Challenge goes up. And that's a week long every day. They do a video. And they have Canadian celebrities defend Canadian authors' books picked for the year. and it's a round robin discussion until you have the last standing winner. So hot air balloon debate. Do you guys do those in high school? Is that still a thing you do in English class?
I vaguely remember something
We
about
did that in
debates
English
high
class.
school.
We did it over characters and books and plays and stuff, but in this case they do it over the whole book itself. So they make an argument and everybody votes on what stays and what goes, and at the end of the week you have a winner.
Okay.
And I like to have read the whole short list before they do the week-long sort of, hot air balloon debate on who should stay and who should go, and you always get interesting ones. And you get some really weird books to read, which I like. That's how I found the Woos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which was a delightful read. I mean, it was sort of autobiography. It had some really sad moments and some very deep moments, but I found it well written and quite interesting to read, so it's a thing. It's also how I got introduced to Lawrence Hill, who did the Book of Negroes, and then did another one. That one. I liked the Book of Negroes better. Anyway, I'm off on a tangent. Guys, it's the 5th of January, and I already have more books than I can read in a year.
So I watched a speed reading video on YouTube this morning. I'm going to go home and try some speed reading.
That might be wise.
It's about the only way I'm going to get through everything.
So much stuff. And I'm going to keep adding to your list. Like, it's not going to...
Yeah.
I won't stop. You know me.
So my audiobook at the moment that I listen to in the car / when I'm doing dishes and whatever is Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett.
Mm-hmm.
Continues to be delightfully dry, sarcastic British humor. I love it so much. And the narrator is so good. So good.
Oh, I gotta add that to my list.
His Southern American accent is better than his other American accents.
Okay. I really need to listen to that now.
The narrator, of course, is British, so all of his UK-related accents are flawless. His American accents, but entertaining nonetheless.
Seeing the two of us trying to do British accents, it's not pretty. It's not pretty.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Nope. Mm-mm. Nope.
Alright, highly recommend Good Omens. Show is also fantastic. I'm probably gonna start binging that tonight.
Oh, it's a good show.
Yeah.
But
I watched it less than a year ago.
But you have the helpful Fox and... You have comedy slice of life to watch. I gave you 2.
Well, but I'm gonna need lots, so, like, load me up.
Oh, okay. We'll turn my computer on before you leave. I will load you up. Not a problem.
I need, like, 20-minute anime episodes to watch.
Oh, yeah. Tons of those.
Okay, I'm gonna have to renew my Funimation subscription.
Yeah, there's Astra, Lost in Space. There's no depth there. It's campy, rumpy summer fun. Like, yeah! And the story completes in the one season.
Perfect.
All up finished.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And then the physical book that I'm actually reading, slowly, is
I don't know, it's your book.
I just wrote Book of Night with Moon. There might be a "the" in front of there. Anyway, the Book of Night with Moon.
Phaedra book.
Yes, the book that has Phaedra on the cover.
She's still sleeping good. She really needs to sleep and heal her leg. She's up in her favorite cat perch, and I'm just so worried when she gets ready to jump down. I'm just gonna bail and like knock everything over to go get her.
Anyway, that one is like, it's like Cats, but the Ministry of Magic, but cats.
It sounds terribly adorable.
It's really freaking cute. I'm enjoying it thoroughly.
I'll have to show you the Read Harder challenge.
Read harder?
Yeah. Ooh, from Book Riot?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll show you the challenges for that. I think you might enjoy. You've even got prompts and stuff you can read so you get ideas for different books and things if you've got problems with some of them. I won't do the horror one.
It's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's it for me for books.
Cool beans. I'm still working my way through The Decline and Fall of Magic. It is a textbook. So like it's gonna pop up and go away for the next couple weeks easily. It requires all of my brain power. I'm sitting, I'm reading it, I'm learning. Which I love. It's just also problematic if I want to, do other things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, remember to drink my coffee. I feel like I'll probably get through, or like a third of it through, and then I'll go visit mom, and then it'll be all done. So I'll just sit down one day and start reading it, and just randomly start spitting facts out at my mom. which I love to do. It drives her nuts. And I know it does. Coffee's cold, doesn't taste good anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's it?
That is it.
Man, we gotta get better at spinning.
I gotta wind off my yarn so that I have bobbins to spin on.
Hey, there's a spinning thing Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Yeah.
This Tuesday?
Yeah.
What time?
4 to 7.
Strong maybe.
Okay.
Depends how work goes.
That's fair. Technically, Ben's picking me up. That'd be the event I suckered him into. It's at the Forks.
Forks is nice. I haven't been there in a while.
If you can, just text me and I'll send you the deets.
I was thinking I would probably go get my nails off on Tuesday though, because they're catching on stuff.
Everything. Okay, yeah.
Two of them are already off. So
absolutely fair. I think that'll be
get those off.
That's of higher importance. You don't get them snagged on things and break yarn or something. That'd be way tragic. Okay, in which case I'll say I'm going to continue to work on this cardigan because I'd love to have a FO cardigan next week for Diana.
Oh, I'm like most of the way done this hat. Check this out.
I know.
Love super jumbo bulky yarn. Super bulky? Jumbo. Whatever. 7. This is 7.
Oh my gosh, I'm working in a 5.
Yeah, this is a 7.
Big ones. Okay, so we'll see you guys again next week. Because that's a thing. Until next week, Diana's going to continue to enjoy the discovery of giant yarn.
Yeah.
Instead of just giant yarn.
This is nice.
I'm going to say I'm Jocelyn.
I'm Diana.
And no matter where your week takes you, don't forget to knit. You look like a crazy person.
And if I wanted to start doing decreases right now, I totally could.
Yes, you could.
I'm not going to.
No, because I like because you do it and then you can just double fold your brim up.
Yeah.
Which will be
I
good.
like this a lot. This is gonna look so good. With a little, whoa, as I punch myself in the face, a little palm on top.
Yeah, I think
the little palm, yeah.
Well, it's gonna be little compared to the giant bulky hat on your head.
Okay, I'm excited.
Okay.